Hey, fellow gamers, it's Cozy Mel here with another video for you about Palia. And we have a video out there that is called Palia Before You Switch. And it has a lot of great hints and tips and tricks and things that I wish I had known before I started playing. And so that video, go back, find it, watch it. It will really be helpful to you if you are stuck or if you are just starting or you haven't quite started yet. That's even better. Go see that video. However, this one is called Palia Before You Switch #2. And in this video, we're going to give you 10 more hints, tips, and tricks for things that will help you in your paleo journey. And these have mostly come to me from my subscribers and members of my community, my friends and fellow gamers, even my family. So these are things that you guys have asked me to cover in a video of tips and tricks. So without any further ado, let's get going. Number one, we have covered in the past that you need to donate some of your renown. When you look at your UI, if it says you have 1,000 renown, as I do, well, then you will not be building up any more renown. You can only build it up to 1,000. If I gain some renown by completing a quest or doing something for an NPC, whatever, I will not be receiving credit for it as far as, I won't go to 1,005. So I would just be wasting that renown. Therefore, I need to donate. This is the Phoenix Shrine where you were born. You guys already know this. You go to this shrine, you donate 100 renown, and it makes your experience bonus higher. Okay. So you're going to go up and see him until the interact symbol comes up. Use whatever you use in Switch or the F key on PC to interact. Now, I just did that and I donated 100 renown to this statue. Now, when you look at my UI, it says 900. Okay. So in the process, if you want to see it again, it says I now have a focus bonus increase to 98%. So you start out at 30%, and I am almost to 100%. So that means I am getting a lot more experience for everything that I do in the game that grants you experience. Okay. So what that means is that if you make a piece of furniture and it's going to give you 20 experience for making that furniture and you have a 50% experience bonus, then you might get 10 more, say, for example. So you would probably get 30% for doing that. So in that case, you realize quickly that you're going to level up a lot faster in everything you do, all 8 of your skills and your person overall in the game. You're going to level up much faster if you increase the efficiency of your bar. Okay. Now, the thing people don't realize, because you're right. Yes, Mel, you have covered this in a previous video. I know I did. But what I did not say clearly and what people are confused about is that once you do increase the efficiency rate at which you gain experience, you use your focus food faster. So if you eat an item of food and it gives you 200 focus, you might have been able to build 4 pieces of high quality furniture and get your experience bonus on all 4 of them. And the pink line up on your screen would be going down with each piece that you made but you got to make 4 or 5 or more pieces of furniture when you're at 30% experience bonus without all of your food focus being gone or disappearing. Okay. So that's on your bar down here. If you're right here and you make a piece of furniture, watch and you'll see this go down. It might go down this far. And the more you make, the more it goes down. But you might make 5 pieces of furniture before you get to 0. Now, let's say you have increased your efficiency to 50% instead of the 30% you start out with. That means that you are going to gain experience faster. However, it also means you're going to eat your food faster. And that's what people don't understand and keep asking me questions about. Why, Mel? Why is my focus bar going down so fast? Well, it's because you have increased your efficiency. So you might make a really nice quality piece of furniture and half of your focus food is gone, say, if you only have 200 focus in your bar. You make another piece and the rest of it's gone, you know? And so you're thinking, wow, I used to be able to pick 20 vegetables in my garden before my food was all gone. My food focus was all gone. Now I pick 10 vegetables and my food focus is all gone. Well, it's because you've increased your efficiency. And so that's the trade-off. So what you want to do then is have a larger focus bar so that you can fit more food in there at a time. So you don't have to eat as often. And that's what you do here at the Dragon Shrine. And I know we've already discussed this, you've seen it done, but here, if I commune with the dragon, my maximum focus has now increased to 910. So you can look at your UI and you can see now that I can have 910 food points, food focus points in my bar at one time. So then I can do quite a bit with 900, before I have to eat again. So that's how that works. That's how those two things are synergistic. There's synergy between the two things. They go up and down together. Okay. So apparently that is something no one has quite been able to make clear in their videos. So I promised that I would try to get that to come across and make some sense, and hopefully it does. Okay, number 2, we are back on my housing plot for number 2. And this is something that I don't think anybody realizes that they really forget to talk about, because when you first begin playing and you just have an empty plot, or perhaps you put up your tent or whatever, no one really thinks about needing the housing menu. But once you start doing that kind of thing, like putting up a house, you will need your housing menu. On the PC, you push the H key. I'm not sure. I have not played enough on my Switch yet. I just started playing on my Switch, and I'm learning a lot about the controller when it comes to Palia. But if you push H on your keyboard for PC, you will get a top down, like in a Korean video game like Lost Ark or something, where you kind of have to play with that top down look. That's what the housing UI looks like. It's a top-down view of your plot. And you can use your mouse roller and get in closer, and you can choose something and move it. So, say you wanted to move this plant, you could move it in closer, farther away while you're looking down on your plot. And I think that we forget to tell you guys those kind of things sometimes, but there are some other important deals that go along with this, okay? Number one is this is your default slot. So this default slot was given to you when you started the game, and if you were like me, you cleared the whole thing off, and then I had to replant my trees. But anyway, um, you might not realize that there are extra slots. And so you can actually have a new slot or a new plot. And oh my, don't ask me the difference. Someone smarter than me would have to explain that to you. But as the game goes along, I know that you can have a new slot for free. And then you would have a plot on that slot. I'm not sure that makes any sense, but your main one is your default slot. Now, what do I do? There are some achievements in this game, and those achievements are going to ask you to actually purchase some extra slots. Okay, so I have what I call a redundant farm on one of these slots that I purchased. Now, you might look at this and say, well, Mel, what are you doing? This is crazy looking. Okay, well, so what I do with this is my nursery where I hatch house parts. So, say I might need a new small room on one of my main houses. I don't have to wait for it to grow. Say I add a small room to this house right now. It just plugged in right there. Okay. Now I can go down there to this extra slot plot and you can see that I now have a room that needs to be completed. And I just didn't want to mess with it on my main default slot. I feed in the planks, I feed in the bricks, I confirm that I want to do that. Now I can look and it says 4 hours. So in 4 hours, this room will be finished. I can go about my business and do whatever I want to do. And when that room is finished, I can come back and pick it up and put it in the H menu. Anyway, you can get your mail on any slot. You can put things in your box to sell on any slot, and it will appear. They'll pick it up 6 a.m., 6 p.m. It's the same. So you put those things in there, and then you can go to your H menu and go back to your default slot and load in your default slot and go back to it. And then you can go over here and look inside your box. And those same things are for sale that you put in your shipping bin when you were on the other slot. And it's the same thing with the mail and things like that. So, okay. So either way, that was the one thing people wanted to have explained. And then also at the top of here, there's another button. This button is the plot settings, and it's also permissions. So you have friends that are already accepted as your friends in game. Your friends can come visit you on your farm anytime, okay? So when your friends come to visit you, they can hoe your garden and water your garden. They can do that for you if they would like to. That's just great, kind of fun. Go do that. But they can't move anything on your actual plot. But if you give them editor permission over here in the permissions box, like my husband, I can gave my husband editor permission. That means he can come over to my house and move things. I make furniture. I place the furniture down on my plot. He can't make it or place it when he comes over. I can make it, I can place it. He can pick it up and move it around and put it someplace else. And he will do that just for fun. I might be in my workshop and I might be working on making some things, and he'll be inside my main house and he might be moving my refrigerator, and I'll find it in the bathroom. So just goofy stuff like that. But it's kind of fun sometimes to have your friends come over and decorate a house. So you might set up a house on your plot, build a bunch of furniture, lay it all out in the yard, and all your friends can come over, make them editors, and they can decorate your house for you. So it's just a little fun thing that you can do. So that is everything about the default tab H. Okay, so let's see if we can move on. Number three. Number three is regarding the reasons why you should level up your skills. Okay, So the most normal reason that everybody gives to level up your skill is because then you get better tools and you get better machines to use on your farm. It makes your farming more efficient. It makes everything easier to do. Okay, so you want to have these preserve jars. So you're gonna have to get to like level 8 in gardening. You want to have this loom to make silk and make fabric and things like that, make leather. So you'll have to get to a certain level with Tish in furniture making for each of those things, so that you can have that crafter. Same thing with mining. As you level up mining, you can get a better kiln, for making your bars and things like that. So that's the general reason to do it. But there are other reasons. Um, and so one of those things is that it will help you complete bundles. Now, this is something that a lot of people have not talked about or really thought about, but there are things that you need to put in the bundles that you cannot get unless you have leveled up some of your skills. For instance, there are fish that you can't catch unless you have worms and glowworms. And to have these glowworm farms and regular worm farms, you have to have done some fishing. And the farther up you go in fishing, the better tools that you will get for fishing. And you will also be able to build these kinds of machines that help you have worms and glowworms. So that's kind of an important note. You might say, but Mel, I can get 10 glowworms as a gift from Zeki, maybe in the lucky box, or I can get 10 glowworms maybe early in the game as a reward from ENR when I upgrade my fishing abilities or whatever. I'm here to tell you 10 glowworms aren't going to help you when it comes to some of these fish. There are fish that I have used 2, 3, 400 glowworms before the RNG princesses granted me the fish. So you're gonna want a glowworm maker. While we are talking about bundles, we will go ahead and keep those in this section. Apparently, I did not come here to the vault in my other video and show you guys, okay? So this is the vault that's over by Gina and Hekla's tent, kind of between their tent and the farm. So I can show it to you on the map in a minute, but while we're inside of it, you won't get a map. But this first one is the Vault of the Waves. So that's the first thing that you did. And when you complete these bundles, you will get certain prizes. So for the Vault of the Waves, you can get 30 worms. Let's see. If I look at the fish, I think it might be this bundle, but 30 worms and 30 glowworms. So that's kind of a pretty good start. And then when it comes to like cooking or whatever, you will receive the a order of bouillabaisse to eat and a bouillabaisse recipe. You will need that recipe at some point in a quest. So this is the way that you get it. And then also when you get the bugs or whatnot, you will receive as a gift the honey lure. One honey lure, once you have purchased the recipe for 2,000 gold from Ani or whatever it is, if you would like to make a honey lure that draws all bugs in the area to you so that you can stun them, and it works for 15 minutes, I think it is, you have to spend a gold bar, one gold bar worth over 500 gold to make one honey lure. So getting a honey lure as a gift, if you need to collect up some bugs, that's actually really worth having that as a prize. And then if you continue and finish all of the bundles, then you will have a special thing happen in the game for you, and that is that you release the ancient fish into the Killama Lakes. And there wasn't an ancient fish for you to catch before you do that. So once you complete these bundles, you will be able to go fishing in Killama Lakes and have a chance to catch an ancient fish. And that was not there for you before. So that's a nice reward for doing the bundles. Then these are the fire or flame bundles. And I'll just go through what you get. You get spicy rice cake recipe. You get the ember-born brazier recipe so that you can make those. You receive 3 smoke bombs, and they're supreme smoke bombs. So one of those will kill any bug that you hit. So if you have a bug that takes 20 hits to stun it, you can stun it in one if you use a supreme smoke bomb. So you get 3 of those as part of your gift. You get a pyro flow bobber, and that actually is larger and it glows, especially in the dark. And it's easier to see your bobber go up and down when you're fishing. And then your final item, once you have completed all of the bundles for this segment, is an ancient rock garden. And the ancient rock garden has a kitsu, and I can show that to you back at my plot. But the kitsu will sit on it once per day, and when it sees you, it will be afraid and it will run off. Okay, but it will leave behind a little bag once a day, and you pick up the little bag, and it might have 3 chopper or 3 surnak meat in it. Nothing life changing, but it's free, you know. So I always say free stuff is good. There was a movie one time called Look Who's Talking. And the main character comes home with canned goods that don't have any labels on, and he's like, hey, you know, it could be lunch meat, it could be peaches, who knows? The point is, just because it's free don't mean it ain't no good. So anyway, I never balk at free things. So, okay, this is the next set, and this is for the Gales Temple that we just received. And so as you fill up the Gales bundle, you will get some rewards. Like I think this bundle rewards you 3 buzzy jars. The buzzy jars will last for 10 or 15 minutes, and they will help you track really hard to find bugs. And I don't think that I would have gotten the rainbow tipped butterfly without the buzzy jar. So those are super nice to have. And you will also get a honey lure. And again, those are worth a 500 gold, gold bar. So you will also get the Ember-born bookshelf recipe. So that allows you to make a new piece of furniture in your house. And that will give you inspiration for other pieces of furniture in the Ember-born set. So it's important to get that one. You will also get a recipe for mushroom quiche when you finish all of these cooking recipes. And I'm sure that will show up in a quest line at some point in time. And there's also a gift of 8 special fishing hooks. And the fishing hooks help you with things like you're going to catch fish faster. You know, you'll get bites faster, or you'll reel them in faster, or the parentheses that surrounds the fish will get way larger so that it's a lot easier to catch them, that kind of thing. You can purchase those from ENR once you are in the guild or the club after level 10 in fishing, but they cost a lot of medals, and I wanted to save my medals, so it was kind of fun to get some for free. And then once you have done all of these things in the bundles, then you will receive a young silver wing nest. Now, I completed all of this already, and I did not get the young silver wing nest to put on my plot. However, I heard that it is a bug. I asked a question of the devs. I put in a report and I got an answer. And the tech team that helps you said it's a bug and they will work on it in January when they get back to work. So, anyway, that is really about all you need to know about the bundles. But it is another reason to level up your skills because If you have a higher level bug belt, then you're going to have an easier time taking out these really high level bugs that you need for the vault. If you have glowworms from a glowworm farm, then you're going to be able to catch these high level fish. And this is the map. So this shows you where the vault is. If you have never been to the vault, it's above the farm on a cliff, and it's close to Gina and Hekla's tent. So Mirror Fields, Mirror Ponds area. Okay, so that's what you need to know about that. And the other thing people said to kind of remind everybody about is that you also can cook with other people. So if you need to cook a recipe that goes in this vault and you don't have the recipe, maybe it is, something where you have to catch the recipe fishing and you haven't done that yet, like sushi or something. If you have a friend that also plays and they have the recipe and the two of you between you have all the ingredients you need, you can cook together on his farm or on your farm if you have all the equipment in your kitchen that you need and your friend has the recipe, then you can cook together and make it, and you both get 3 servings of that item. And then you can bring that item here to the vault and turn it in. So that's another thing about the vault that people said doesn't get mentioned enough in the videos. So the uh, information that you need to complete the vault is all in there as well. So when you're inside there, if you will mouse over the fish, it will tell you you can catch this fish in a river in Kilima at 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a glowworm. I mean, seriously, it will tell you. So if you pay really good attention, you might not even have to look it up. If it wants you to catch a long-nosed swordfish you've never heard of, you can mouse over it and it'll tell you, well, you're going to have to go to the ocean, or you're going to have to use glowworms and you're going to have to fish in the morning and daytime, not evening and night. So you'll get the information, write it down, make a note of it. I took photos of my screen, so that helped me a lot. Anyway, okay, so that is what you need to know about the vault. Okay, another reason that we level up our skills is because when you get to level 10, you get to join the club. You don't even have to join the club. They automatically put you in the club. So when you reach level 10, you will be in the guild. If you get to level 10 in farming, you will be in the farming guild. And then you can purchase things to put on your plot that are beautiful looking, like this. This is a little nursery shelf and it has little baby plants and they are constantly being watered, like a little waterfall through there. I just love it. I think it's so pretty. They also have a water well that you can fill up your watering can in. And this happens to be an item from the Guild of Bug Catchers. And it's like a bug lure for, pretend for, for your housing plots. Just pretty. There are also things like this gigantic, full human-sized fish tank. I could take a bath in that thing. So that is something that you can get from ENR once you are in the fishing club or guild. This is the mining display from Hodari. So, there are some really neat things that you will only be able to get to display on your home if you get to level 10 in each of your skills. So, for example, we have come to see Ashura. He is your teacher for foraging. He is your teacher for cutting wood and picking mushrooms and picking flowers, that sort of thing. So, if we open his store, you can see where I have purchased a sawmill and an axe recipe and the recipes for making planks, heartwood planks and flowwood planks and recipe for an exquisite axe. And then I was at level 10 and I joined the club. Automatically you are in the guild. Once you are, you'll start earning these little medals down here, okay? You start out with 100 medals, I think, somewhere around there. I don't know. But there are things you can purchase with these medals. And Sometimes you might have an emergency where you don't have any dragon speared peat and you need it for a quest, or you just absolutely have to have it that minute to make a piece of furniture and you don't want to go over to the ocean and look for some. You can get some from Ashura if you want to use your metals. Same thing with Dari cloves, heat root, things like that. But what I like are the things that are for my home. So, like this wallpaper, I just love it. This koi pond, I really love my koi pond on my farm. This forager's planter, I think, is really neat. This bonsai tree is a really cool thing to put in your home. And so you want to save up until you have enough. Like for the Killama koi pond, it's 1,120 coins, and I have 1,000 coins or so. So you want to get enough for the mushroom woods wallpaper, which I have in my workshop. It's 220 coins. So say you start out with 100 and you're level 10 and you get to level 11, you're going to earn 5 or maybe 10 coins, medals. So you'll go from 100 medals to 110 medals. Well, that's going to be really hard to get to the mushroom woods wallpaper you want to buy, right? No, because once you're in the guild, once you are level 10, you are going to get weekly items that you can do every week, and they will refresh every Sunday. So pull up your UI and click on accomplishments. And at the top, you can start reading your accomplishments. And so for foraging for Ashura, we have collect forage. So that means you're going to go out and you're going to cut down 40 trees or 10 trees and 30 mushrooms, or 10 flowers, 10 mushrooms, and 20 trees, whatever it is. You're going to forage until you receive this accomplishment for the week, and you get 40 coins or medals. I call them coins, but they're medals. So you get 40 reward medals. That's going to take you from 100 to 140 right there. For chopping trees, it might say you need to chop down 30 trees. So you'll go out and you'll chop down those trees and you will receive automatically, you don't have to do anything, automatically pops up on your screen 30 medals. So right there, that takes you to 170, say, for an example. Chop magical trees. So that means flow trees with the purple trunk. Go out and cut down 5 of those anytime during the week. It can be 1 a day for 5 days. It can be 5 in 5 minutes. As long as you cut down 5 flow trees, you will automatically receive a blip on your screen. You will get this reward. You will get 30 medals. That puts you at 200. So, if you had 120 medals on Sunday morning and you want wallpaper that costs 220, do this, and do this. Those 3 things, and boom, you have 100 more medals. That takes you to 220. Go see Ashura, purchase the wallpaper, put it in your house. You'll be happy that you did. So it's the same thing for fishing, for cooking, for making furniture, for doing your gardening, for hunting, for mining. These are not, accomplishments that are lifetime awards. These refresh every Sunday at like 8 in the evening or whatever. So every week you can do these. And it's really fun, I think, to have those goals every week. I like having the goals and I like doing it. So that's another really good reason to level up your skills at least to, level 10 so that you can start doing that. And then, you are still getting 5 or 10 medals each level you go up also. So you can look at your UI for that. That would be just in your basic UI. Say, over here, I am level 32 in fishing. So, if I got 5 each time that I leveled up, I've gained about 150 medals in leveling up. I have a level 135 in gardening because that's where I make all my money. So I garden a lot, obviously. So, I have made enough medals in gardening to buy everything that Badger sells to put on your farm. So that's kind of fun for me. And there's some things I want two of, so I'm starting over, and I save my medals up again for some other things that I want rather than just spending them on, random things he sells like apple seeds. I can make my own apple seeds. You will probably have to buy your first one, but after that, you make them in a seed maker, and because you grew them on your garden and you're good to go. Okay, that's it for number 3. Finally, wow, shoo, number 4. Okay, number 4, we're going to talk about our tools. So these are your tools. And apparently, I have mentioned before that when you start out, all of these are makeshift tools. And makeshift tools will never break, and they will never be damaged. They will never lose any of their sharpness, and they will never need to be repaired or replaced. However, they're very slow to get anything done. Your axe might, you can't cut any big trees if you have a makeshift axe. And on a small tree, it might take 20 hits to get it to fall down. So you want to upgrade your tools, and then you want to repair them. And you will be able to get a recipe for an anvil, and you can make the anvil and keep it on your farm. And then you make your own repair kits, and you use your repair kits for free on your farm to upgrade your or to fix your weapons and tools. However, you can also come here if you're in Kilima and you're in town and you're not carrying around any of those repair kits with you because you didn't want to take up another slot in your bag. Well, then you can come here and you can pay. So I have very little damage right now. I used my axe and I did a little, or my pickaxe, and did a little mining. So it's got a little bit of damage. Sometimes my damage will be over half of this yellow circle if I've been out working for a long time. And, then it's going to cost 150 gold to repair it. You can really get up there. And so it's better to go home, make some repair kits yourself and, out of things that you've gathered, and repair those items. But if you're in a hurry and you've got to get back out there because somebody's waiting for you, you can just hit this button right here, pay the gold, and repair all your items here. Okay, so that I think I have mentioned before, but apparently I did not mention that if you don't do that, it will break. So if you have a fine axe, it will break, and it will be a standard axe after that, and you won't be able to cut down flow trees. So you'll have to go back to your farm and turn your standard axe back into a fine axe. So it's like making it again. You're not out of luck forever. You can just go make it again. But you just, if you watch and make sure that you don't let it go all the way down to 0, then it won't break. So we're hoping in the future that we will get some free slots or some sort of slots in our bag for carrying our ammo and things like that, because the reason I don't carry repair kits with me, like if I had one of these boxes filled up with 100 repair kits and I was over in Bahari where there's no place to pay, there's no way to pay money to repair in Bahari. So if I had a bunch of repair kits, I could repair my tools in Bahari at the barn, say at Bahari Central Station. But I'd have to have repair kits with me, and it would take up a slot in my bag, and I'm not willing to give up a slot. So someday, hopefully, we're going to have some slots that are for these ammunition type things. Because for me, I carry bug smoke bombs, and I also carry 3 kinds of arrows. I carry 2 kinds of worms. I carry fisherman's brew at all times, and I carry some sort of food. So that's 8 items right there. One entire row of my bag is always gone because of what I'm carrying. So that's why I don't carry repair kits with me. So hopefully someday they will, get that turned around to where you won't lose space in your bag for carrying your ammo and repair kits and things like that. Okay, so we will move on to number 5. And number 5 is people have asked me about whether or not the teacher for your specific skill has to be in a certain spot, and they don't. Okay, so it just so happens that Ashura during the nighttime is usually here at this desk. And so if you receive a letter from him that says, "Hey, I've got a new tool recipe for you, come buy it." If you know it's nighttime and he's here at this desk, you can do that. But he might be upstairs in his room and he might be doing push ups or whatever, or he might be at the river fishing. That's okay. He carries his store magically on his back. All of your teachers do. So anywhere that you see them, you can go open the store up on them. So Rep is not behind his counter right now. He's out here just chatting with people, but you can still go see him, ask him what gift he would like to have that week, if he's got any gift, or look at his store. So his store will open up and you can purchase things from him, even if he's out in a field standing around and you just happen to need some chapa masala right now, or you want, to get this nice little Cook's Market stand or whatever, and you can't wait till he's at work. Well, sure, you can find him someplace else and buy it from him. I think even if he's in his room sleeping, you can still go open up the store and buy things from him. So, if he's asleep, you might not be able to complete a quest, but, otherwise, I think you can still do most of the other things with him. So, anyway, the other thing about that is even before your teacher sends you a letter to tell you that they have a new recipe to sell you, if you see that you were level 6 or level 5, for example, in mining, and you reach level 6 while you're out and about, you don't have to wait for the letter to come to your mailbox. You can just go see Hodari right away and say, "Oh, I want my recipe for that fine axe. I am gonna make that fine axe. I am going out there and getting some pallium, by golly, and I'm getting it today." So you can do that even before you get the letter. As long as you see by watching your screen that you have gone from level 5 to level 6, you don't have to go home and get the letter. So you can just go ahead. Okay, so then the next thing that has to do with this same subject is a common misconception. And I've had people talk to me about this. Oh, so many times have asked me this question. When you push O on your keyboard, and I'm not sure what it is on Switch, and I'm going to find those things out when I get time to play my Switch, but it will bring up your friends menu and it will show you all your friends that are playing right now. So, like Sheldy Hertz is somebody I love to go chop down trees with. She's playing right now. If she had time, I could ask her to join a group with me and we could go out and chop some trees together or whatever. So that's what this is about. The other thing in this tab is requests, okay? So you can actually go to the gift box, and if someone has asked for a gift and you have it, you can give it to them. This person would like a pallium bar. No one's going to give them a pallium bar. It's way too hard to make one. These days it's extremely hard to get your pallium because it has a small RNG chance of being where normally a iron mode node would be. So anyway, but you could, if you had it, gift these things to that person that's asking for it. Now, if you want to request an item, you go here. And this will show you the items that you can request from someone else. A lot of people who make content have said, don't bother wasting 180 gardening medals. Oh, it was so hard to get those gardening medals. Don't waste 180 of them to buy an apple seed from Badgerow. Just ask for one on the request and someone will give you one. Okay, that isn't how it works. You have to have gotten an apple seed on your own first. You can never ask for something that you've never gotten on your own. You have to earn the right to request a gift. If you were able to ask for a blueberry seed or an apple tree seed before you ever bought one or earned one on your own, if you were able to do that, that was a bug in the game and it has been fixed. So there is no doing that. So if you get frustrated because somebody told you on their video that you could just ask for an apple tree seed, but you're looking and you're like, why can't I ask for one? That person told you wrong. You can't ask for one until you have gotten one on your own. So say you want to ask for a wild garlic. It will only show up right here for you to ask for that wild garlic if you have gotten a wild garlic yourself sometime in the last 4 months that you've been playing the game or whatever. My request item list is broken. It's been broken for months. They're working on it. So what happens for me is even though I have had every fish and every bug and every food item in the game, and they should all show up on here because I've done them myself on my own. I've done my own apple seeds and blueberry seeds. I bought them with metals. I grew them. I make them in the seed maker. I can't ask for them because mine's broken. So every day, the only thing it allows me to ask for is something I have touched with my own hands that day. So until they get that fixed, I can't use my request tab. But hopefully for you, it's not bugged or broken. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And that's what I've had the most questions about when it comes to the request tab. So yes, you can request an apple tree seed, but only after you've gotten one on your own, either by luck, getting it from a Zeki box, or by buying it with your metals. Okay. So then we have to talk about the last kind of thing with leveling up your skills is just that, like we said before, there's certain things in the game that you can't do without a higher level tool. So if you want to cut down flow trees, you have to have at least level 6 fine axe. And if you want to mine pallium, you have to have a level 6 fine pickaxe or above, you know. So that's another good reason to level up your skills. And they really level up naturally when it comes to gathering. All your gathering skills will level up really fast naturally. The things you'll try harder at are cooking, making furniture, catching bugs, and fishing. Those are things you'll try a little harder at. They don't fill up to level 10 as naturally, but you still will want to do it, you know, as time goes along. Okay, so you might ask me why on, say, bug catching would I even care? Well, okay, bug catching is not a big money maker. You probably are not gonna go out and catch bugs for an hour and bring them back and sell them and make bank. Probably that's not gonna happen. Bug catching is much more geared toward the fun of putting those bugs in your house. So when you get star level bugs, it's just a total gas to put them in those aquariums and display them in your home. I'm sure you've seen plenty of people doing that, you know. But so if you want to throw a bug bomb at a bug and stun him and pick him up, and he's star level like this common blue butterfly I got, you can go ahead when you're on your plot and put him in a display jar and put him up on in your home. So that's great fun. The other thing is you need silk for everything. There's so many things you need silk for. You need silk in making furniture. You need silk when it comes to quests. There's a lot of quest lines that require you to have some silk thread or some silk fabric. And you can't get silk if you are not actively out there doing bugs, because the silk comes from the bugs. So I use sticky bombs most of the time because I like to slow down my bug a little bit so I get a chance to hit him again. So but you can use regular You know, like I'm just using regular smoke bombs today, and I was able to, get a couple of bugs with regular. But a lot of times I will use the sticky ones just to slow them down a little bit. But you go see Ani, look at his store, look at what he wants to sell you, see what it does, and decide for yourself. You do you. You can use regular bug bombs your whole life, doesn't matter. I use sticky ones because I have trouble with my hands, and it makes it easier for me to get in a second shot when I need to. Um, but the belt itself is going to give you more, I guess you call it power, more hit points. You might understand it like hit points, like you have in other games. So if you're using a makeshift belt, it's going to take a lot more bombs to stop that bug. But if you make a standard belt and then a fine belt and then an exquisite belt, every time you have a better belt on, your bomb that you throw is the same dang bomb, but it is tougher. It takes off a lot more hit points on that belt. So that's why it's a good idea to level up. And especially, when it comes to the silk, because erg, I didn't find out for the longest time that silk was coming from bugs, and that there aren't very many bugs in Kilima that give you silk. So right now, what I know is that you can get silk in Kilima if you kill a pink ladybug, a fire-breathing dragonfly, or a golden glory bee. And that's it that I know of that give you silk in Kilima. Tell me in the comments below if you have had other bugs in Kilima that have given you actual silk. But those are the ones for me. Then you have to go to the other map. You have to go over to Bahari Bay. And over in Bahari Bay, then you're going to have a much better chance at getting bugs. So when you hit rocks that contain iron, or even just big regular rocks, you're out mining, you're going to come across scintillating centipedes. And if you kill it or stun it and collect it, you will get silk. Azure stonehoppers and hairy millipedes are my favorite. I love getting those over in Bahari. They always give you silk. Other people have told me that Bahari glow bugs, which are the green one that's really rare, not the everyday lantern bugs, but the Bahari glow bug, that they can give you silk. Leaf stalker mantis supposedly will give you silk, and also striped shelled snails or vampire crabs, but I've never gotten one that gave me silk yet. But you do you. If you figure it out, put a comment below and say, hey, I got a vampire crab and it gave me silk. I will be glad to hear that, but it just hasn't worked out for me so far. And then moving on from bugs, there's hunting. So the only thing that I guess I didn't make clear in the previous video is the difference between bows and arrows. So when you go out to go hunting, you're in this case, your arrows are the actual strength. So your arrows are the hit points. So if you have makeshift arrows, they might do, say, 10 hit points of damage. If you have standard arrows, maybe they do 20 hit points. I'm just making that up as an example. If you have fine arrows, they might do 30 points of damage. So you can see why when you're hunting, especially in Bahari, and you hit a Cernak with a makeshift arrow, you're going to have to hit him 3 times, maybe 4 times, before he's going to be dead and you gather up the stuff. And with the Chapa, you'll have to hit them at least twice over in Bahari if they have any black markings, if they're not just a regular light orange colored one. There's nothing to kill. Anyway, so the better those arrows are, the more strength they have, and the less of them you will have to use to kill the animal. The bow helps you shoot more accurately, so you don't have so much drop when you shoot. And the bow, as you increase to a better bow and a better bow, also helps you to shoot farther. So in the beginning, you won't be able to shoot very far, but when you get up to, say, an exquisite bow, I shot that guy all the way across the lake and got that choppa. Now, you would not be able to do that from that distance with a makeshift bow. A lot of people will say upgrade your arrows. If you are broke and you don't have a lot of money, upgrade your arrows. Don't bother upgrading your bow. I will say go from a makeshift to a standard bow. I think for me, that's mandatory, but you do you, okay? Do it however you want. But I highly recommend getting a standard bow. After that, you don't have to buy the rest of the bow recipes until you have money to spare, okay? But you want to upgrade your arrows at least to standard arrows. There are plenty of people in this game who will never make better than a standard arrow. They will just hunt with a standard arrow for the rest of their life, and that's fine. You do you. Okay, and then there's also some specialized niche type arrows. And those are if you want to hunt a special flow creature. Some people call the Cernak that is special, fancy dancy deer or disco Bambi, but you will notice what they are. They're covered in shiny, beautiful stuff, and they will disappear and run away in sparkly dust or whatever. And it's really good to have flow arrows for those because it will take away some of their magic ability for a few seconds, giving you a chance to shoot them again. So, as you can see, I love to hunt and I would hunt. I would just only hunt if I had that choice, but darn it, I have to do other things too. So anyway, that's the situation with arrows. Go see Hassian, look at his store, go ahead, mouse over each arrow and read the description and it will tell you what that arrow does, okay? So that's the difference between bows and arrows, and that's the last thing that we're going to talk about on 5. Okay, so we're going to move on to furniture making. People were used to playing a cozy game at home that was not an MMO and you were not playing it online, like Animal Crossing. And in Animal Crossing, which everyone loved to play, if they liked cozy games, they really hated furniture. They hated furniture. I hate to use the word hate, but they really did. And their number one complaint is that it is no fun to get your furniture recipes only by RNG. If you have to go out and check the same spot every day until your eyeballs bleed and you never get the furniture recipe, you get really mad. And I have known so many people who stopped playing Animal Crossing altogether because they were so angry about the furniture system. So the devs for Palia decided to do it right. And what they did was your furniture making, it is at your workbench. You will start out at the very beginning of the game with Tish giving you 3 recipes, and they will happen to be in the log cabin group. And when you make a recipe from the log cabin group, you will, if you haven't made all of them already, like I've already made them all, so I wouldn't, but you will be able to make that item, and then above your head, after you make it, you will see 3 bubbles with shapes in. And you can choose any one of those cloud shapes. If it's round, it might be a clock. If it's square, it might be a coffee table. Who knows? But you will have inspiration and you will learn the next recipe. So then you can go back onto your workbench and you will have a new recipe you've never made before. Now, I can organize by things I've never crafted, and it will hopefully come up with something I have never made, like this ember horn double grate. Now, the reason I've never made it is because it takes 40, 40 flowwood and 4 balium bars. Arg, it hurts. Okay, but if I go ahead and make this big, beautiful gate, there we go. Boom, inspiration. So now I think this is a column, some sort of a column, maybe part of a fence. I think this is a dresser, maybe, that you would, have in your bedroom. I think, maybe. I'm just guessing. This looks like a bookshelf, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to push on that one. Oh, it's a mirror, okay? So I just learned a new recipe just because I crafted something. So now when I go back here, I can see if I click on things you've never made before, I have a mirror, an Emberborn mirror. Oh, again, it takes 40 fluid. That's killer. Ouch. But I will go ahead and make it just for the sake of education. And it's come up with 2 bubbles this time because there's only 2 things left that I have not learned. So I'll go ahead and click on that one, and I've learned to make a dresser. Okay. So now you see how that works? And that works with all of the main furniture sets in the game. Okay. So you have got furniture sets for, log cabin, for dragonborn, for emberborn, for ranch house, for capital chic, for Kilima. You've got all of these different homestead, Ravenwood, Moonstruck, all of these furnitures that you can make to put in your house. And when you make a piece, if you haven't made everything yet in the set, you will get inspiration to make the next piece. So everybody's happy about that and keeps on playing. However, then they found out that there are these things called makeshift items, and makeshift items you can only get from fishing, and they will come in a waterlogged chest when you are out fishing, and you will never have a recipe to make these things. It's just RNG. So whether or not you get lucky. So if you look up on my wall right there, you will see that I have a makeshift wall shelf. It looks like a shutter with a shelf on it, and I put a plant up there. And up above my head, you can see I have makeshift plant hangers, and they look like a colander that's hung up with a board. I love makeshift furniture. I don't know why. I just love how goofy it is. Look at this rake. That rake hanging up there with all those buckets. That's a makeshift planter. Anyway, you get the idea, but you can only get those with RNG, and the RNG gods don't like me very much. But so anyway, they made a new line that they call Choppa Furniture, and it's only available in the Rummage or Choppa piles, and it is also by RNG, and the RNG gods don't like me. So we every real life day, IRL, every real life day, once per day, you can go look in the Choppa pile wherever it shows up and hope that you get a recipe. And I've been doing it for 90 days or whatever it is now, every day without missing a single day. And I've only gotten one recipe, and it's for these hanging baskets. So I made these hanging baskets with my one recipe. I really like them. But there's lots of other recipes out there. There's baskets full of fabric that look like baskets full of laundry. There's a pitcher in a bowl. There's all so many neat things. Unfortunately, I can't make those. I'm fairly sure I have mentioned this before, but for number 7, because I've had some questions about this, you want to make sure that you complete your starting quest line. So you will know what a starting quest line is. It will be one quest after another that you will follow, and each person will send you to the next person, and you keep doing those quests until you have kind of officially become a citizen, of Palia. Anyway, when you look at your UI, if you see at the top, you've got a heart, and that heart is going to show you all the members of your community. There are 24 NPCs in your community. When you first get here and you open up your map for the first time, all of these circles on the map are blank. They are blank circles. They're walking, they're moving, they're sleeping, they're working, but they're blank. You don't know them. You don't get their name or anything. But once you go out and meet them, then the map fills in with their face and their name so that you can find them anytime you need them. And you will get a quest that is part of the opening quest line to give 5 NPCs a gift that they want, not a gift they will accept and like, but a gift they want. They have to have asked for it. Okay. So let's say Ani, for example, he has asked me for a scintillating centipede this week. That's what he wants. And, if you talk to people, Badru wants a tomato. You can see by looking. Kaleri wants a piece of heat root. Okay. So you can go through and click on people and see Eloisa wants a scarlet koi. And the way that you know what they want is by, pushing that little button when you're talking to them. So, say you talk to Tish and Tish's UI comes up down at the bottom right here, okay? It might look grayed out sometimes, but that's a bug. Go ahead and mouse over it every time and see if it'll come up. When that question mark is clicked, that NPC will say, I'm making flowers and I ran out of briar daisies for my flower crowns. Will you get me one? Okay. So then you're finished talking to her and oh, what did she want? Um, Lily's, she went to the, oh boy, I can't remember. Okay, pull up your UI, hit the heart, go down to Tish, click on Tish, briar daisies. So this week she'd like an apple pie, a blueberry pie, and briar daisies. You can give her a gift once per day in real life days. So, I would give her a briar daisy to fulfill the quest. Give NPCs 5 gifts, 5 different NPCs, 1 gift each, and it has to be a gift they want that week. So that's what a weekly want is, okay? So that's what I guess I didn't make sure of on number 7, on getting to know all 24 of the people. And the only other note about that is Najuma and Tamala both live in Bahari and they do not come to Kilima. You will have to go to Bahari to talk to them, okay? Everybody else either lives in Kilima or they come to Kilima every day, like Hodari and Hasyan. So, you will be able to get your hands on them. Okay. Then another thing we need to talk about is a gold sink. Uh, I have mentioned gold sinks in my quest before, and people were wondering what I meant. Well, for instance, okay, when you are wanting storage on your plot, you get to make storage chests for free. You get that recipe for free. Then you use your wood and your flint or whatever, and you can make 8 storage chests. And there's 400 items in a chest. So, that's how many things that you can store. So let's say that would be 3,200 items, but you're going to have a lot more than that. So eventually, you're going to have things you want to protect. So you might want to invest some money in lockbox. So you go to Tish's store, you open up the UI at the cash register, go down to the bottom, and you will see lockbox storage. You buy the recipe for 1,000, and you can make 3 of them. Put all 3 of them on your plot, gives you 300 locked storage. If you catch a special fish and that fish is worth 500 gold or something, and you want to save it to use for a special quest, don't leave it in your regular storage, because the next time you cook fish out over the fire, you might cook it. Don't ask me how I know that can happen. Anyway, sorry, giant goldfish in heaven. um Lock boxes. Put things in your lockbox that you don't want to accidentally get used up when you're cooking or crafting or making things, okay? So that's $1,000 for that. And these are just normal everyday things you need to do. Now, if you want to go above and beyond that, once you have a lot of money, you can do what I would call a gold sink. You would sink some gold, 25,000 gold. It used to be 50, into a copper storage box recipe. You go home with your recipe and you can pick up all 8 of your storage boxes, even though they're full of junk, doesn't matter. Don't empty them. Pick them up. They'll be in your bag. Go to your workbench, turn them all into copper storage chests. Once you do that, those copper chests will each hold, I want to say 825. Yeah, 825 items for a total of 6,600. So you've more than doubled your storage. If you want to sink some more gold into it, you can, go ahead and go to iron. Pick up all 8 of your chests if you want to change all 8 of them. You can change 1 of them if you want, and not 8 of them, but I always change all 8 at a time. Change them into iron and put them back down. And then, all of a sudden, for that 50,000 that you spent, You've got 1,250 items per chest for a total of 10,000. So the reason I call that a gold sink is because that is something you don't have to do. That is something you can do to make your life easier. And it is a way for the devs of the game to get you to use up some of your money. And the reason that, if you know anything about game development, if you know anything about MMOs in particular, MMOs live and die on how many hours. That's the metric. How many hours are people playing your game? Would you like to have advertisers? Would you like to have big donations from big companies? Maybe you want somebody to invest $1 million in your gaming startup. You have to prove to them that you have a certain number of players, and here's how many hours a day these people are willing to play your game. You need hours. That's pretty much one of the biggest metrics. That's a really important metric in the game. So, how do you get your players to play more hours? Well, people want to have gold for things that they would like to have. And in order to get gold, they need to play the game. So they need to go hunting, they need to garden, they need to go fishing, whatever. They've got to do those things in order to have gold. Well, what if they've already got gold cap? They've already made a whole bunch of gold, and now, they don't want to play because they've already, made all the gold they can. They can't make any more gold. Well, then that's when you want them to go sink their gold into something very expensive so that they need to go get some more gold. So in this game, one of the other gold sinks is the special furniture that Zeki sells in the basement of his store in this double secret little black market store area. So there's things for decorating your home that you cannot ever make. You will never get a recipe to make these rugs, ever. You can only get these rugs by buying them. And every time you come to Zeki's secret basement locked up store, he'll have a few different rugs, and you can buy them. But this rug is, almost 3,000 gold. This rug is almost 4,000 gold. This rug is over 1,000 gold. You might want this little picture to hang on the wall. You're never going to get a recipe to make this. So you'd sink 2,000 gold into that picture and 5,000 gold into that picture. So if you see 3 of that picture hanging on the wall in a group in my house, I spent 15,000 gold on that. Okay. So that's called a gold sink. Right here where this outhouse is just 600 gold. But a lot of times right in the same spot, there's going to be a video game machine, the Choppa game. It costs 60,000 gold, okay, to buy it. That's a big gold sink. And then the other things for your home that you cannot ever get a recipe to make are bathtubs and sinks and toilets for a bathroom. So if you want to have a bathroom sink, a bathroom toilet, or a bathroom shower tub, you will have to sink gold into it at Zeki's store. And while we are talking about Zeki's store and gold sinks, right here when you come in, you've got the cash register, and then you've also got the lucky gumball machine. That's your daily thing you want to do by buying one thing at the cash register. You'll get a coin in the mail. It's a lucky coin. You bring it and put it in the lucky box. You get a prize. So, that's kind of like your daily login way to get a gift. Over here to the left is the backpack store. So when you start out, you will have 2 rows or 16 slots. So let's get this right. When you go to Zeki's store, in the beginning, you have 2 rows with 16 slots. Then you can pay 500 gold to get 1 more row. Okay, so that's going to give you 24. Then you can pay 5,000 to get another row. And with that, you would have 32. And 32 is pretty good to last you all the game. You're going to have to empty out your bag quite often, but you can do it. But then if you want to do a gold sink where you sink a whole bunch of gold into something, you can get this 5th row that will get you all the way up to 40 spots. Now, I paid 50,000 for this row, but I think now You only have to pay 25,000 for it, and you will get all the way up to 40 slots. And hopefully, as I said, in the future, we're going to get some kind of slots for our ammo. So, our ammo and our food, so that we don't have to, and hopefully repair kits as well. We don't have to use part of our bag for their stuff. Okay, so that is about it on the gold sync there. And we are on to number 9. Oh my gosh, this is a long video. I'm so sorry. Okay, so on number 9, you will have a cash register out behind all the stores. And this is for special occasions. And so I wanted to tell you that what you need to do, number 9, is stay on top of events. You will either get emails, you can look on Palia's website, you can look on their Discord. I believe there's Twitch and X and all kinds of, Facebook. There's places that will announce special events. And one of those things is this cash register out back. Now, this cash register in October was full of spooky items like jack-o'-lanterns. Right now, this is full of leaves and dirt piles and wrapped presents and snow and ice and charcuterie boards, so you can click on that, you can purchase it, and you will receive this beautiful, colorful charcuterie board that I think is going to even be beautiful for Easter, not just for Christmas, but year round in your house, but there's no more pumpkins in there, you see, those are gone. So after the devs come back in January, I'm sure that these Christmassy or festive items, these will go away. And at some point, there'll be a new event, possibly for the spring solstice or something. Like some people have Easter or whatnot, and there'll probably be spring things in there, maybe colorful Easter eggs, who knows? But there'll be something new and different in there. And when you have a game that is growing and a game that is thriving, then the way you know that is because there are new things added to the game. If you have a game that's dying, then there won't be any new things added to the game. So I played Elder Scrolls Online, ESO, for example, for years, and it has been out a long time, more than 10 years, I'm sure. ESO has been out. So, obviously, a lot of things have been done in the past in that game, but now they don't do it anymore. So when you have a special event, you're not going to get new things to buy anymore. You're going to get the same things you had last year. So is that really fun for everyone? No, it's really not. So, they might have the witches festival in October, and you're going to be able to get the same things you got last year and the year before that and the year before that. Well, that's because the devs that are making ESO are making new games. They're tired of ESO. I don't blame them. So ESO is a dying game because nothing new is ever going on. They just rehash all the old stuff over and over again. It's still fun if you have a lot of friends that play. I still go back once in a while. But I'm just saying it's not a thriving brand new game like this one is. This one's not even out of beta yet. And every month we get something new. And every quarter we get something kind of awesome new. And then, hopefully because it's a growing, thriving game, those things will go away and something else new will come. And it's possible you'll never get those old things again. So next year when it's spooky time, there might be some spooky things to buy in the cash register, but maybe they won't be exactly the same as they were this year. So stay on top of it and get the things you want to get before they go away. This is a chop-a-pile. This is an event we are doing right now. This has been going on for a couple of months. Every day, once per real life day, you can come grab the chop-a-pile. I got 10 pieces of sapwood because, of course I did. I get rocks and wood every day. Every day, rocks, wood. But you might get something else, like a recipe to make a beautiful basket. Right now, because it's the festive season, some of the things that come out of the chop-a-pile are like, decorations for your home, decorations for your tree. Right here at my home, for example, I have a Christmas tree, and you can see that there are mittens on that Christmas tree. I got those mittens out of a chop pile. You can see that there are ice skates hanging on my Christmas tree. I got those ice skates out of the Chapa pile. I have only ever gotten one recipe out of the Chapa pile in all the days that we've been doing them. But I have gotten these rugs. So there are blue hat and red hat Chapa rugs. And there are red hat and blue hat, rugs of the Ormu, the cow in the game. Okay. And then another special event type thing is Twitch drops. So if you ever get notice that there are Twitch drops, this cat rug and also this, Pal Cat rug are both Twitch drops. So if you watch somebody stream for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, you will get the ability to have this item come in your on your UI. So when you look at your UI up here at the top where it says news, you would click on that, and over here instead of snowballs, it would be the Pal Cat rug, and you could open it up and have it. So that's what I mean by special, special events, daily events, things to mark your calendar and try to remember to do so that you don't miss out. So, like all these gifts that are under my tree, I bought those at the cash register. Next year at the cash register, I would think there would be different gifts that you could get to display in your house. But because furniture items take up no space in your storage, put these away in storage, keep them for next year, and you'll be able to get them out and have some new ones to add to your pile. So, that's a living, thriving, growing game that is going to have some things retire and some new things come out. And so, if you don't want to miss out, then try to remember to keep track of things that are going on, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. We had the Magi Market for the month of August, and there were all kinds of, plushies, like plushy animals and all, just crazy stuff like that, that you could win by playing games and doing things at the Magi Market. Now, they've already promised us that the Magi Market will come again. Maybe it'll come in the spring, but like this plushie was one that I got there. So there are prizes like that, and some things small and some things big. This cart that I have food on, that came from the Magi Market. There's an archway that everyone uses at the front of their house. Usually, I just use it for my prayer shrine here. And that giant arch came from doing the quest line at the Magi Market, and I use it in front of my little, Phoenix shrine. So, anyway, those are things that I don't think will come back guaranteed at the next time we get the Magi Market. There might be different things. Some things might be the same, and some things might be completely different. So you just want to make sure that if you want those things, you might not care. You do you. Don't do it if you don't want to. I'm just saying, if you want to, make sure you get things before they go away, and keep track of that. One way to to make sure you get those things is to keep track of what special things are going on. And lastly, number 10, make sure at night before you go to bed or before you go to work for 8 hours during the day, or you go to school or whatever, if you're going to have time away, make sure to remember that at 6 a.m. Palea time every day, your garden refreshes. And so if there are things that aren't watered or there are things covered with weeds, they're not going to grow. So before you sign off, take care of your garden. Pick the weeds and water what needs to be watered, and just, pick your plants that have grown and replant them. If this is how you like to make money, some people don't. You do you. You don't have to garden. I love to garden. So, I'm going to make sure that I do that before I sign off for the night. And then the next day, I've got these things to pick. I've got, all kinds of fruits and vegetables. I can put them in seed makers and make seeds to use and sell. I can put them in the shmoney makers in my workshop so that I will be able to open them up in the morning and, oh, wow, I've got 30 pickled tomatoes. I'm going to go sell those for 1,500 gold, and I'm going to put some more tomatoes in there, and it's going to make me some more money by tomorrow morning. So those are things that are passive ways to make money while you sleep. Don't forget to do that. And it's the same with, oh, I guess I should have shown you while I was in there, but it's the same with your worm farm. So if you want your worm farm to be working while you're sleeping or whatever, then go ahead and put some mushrooms in there so that it gets to work while you're away from the game. Then when you come back to the game, you've got things to use, things to sell. I'm going to go ahead and put some sweet leaf in here because then it'll make the kind of fertilizer I'm using right now. Do some wood crafting. Before I signed up last night, I put some flow wood into the hopper so that this would make some flow planks, because I use a lot of those when I'm making furniture, things like that. You're going to use that kind of stuff to make better tools, make furniture, that kind of thing. Rocks are free. You always have a lot of dang rocks. So, you can put rocks in here and turn them into glass. And then, you can turn the glass into light bulbs. So, you put the glass back up in the hopper, if I can make it work, and it'll turn it into light bulbs. And then you can sell those light bulbs for more than you can sell the glass for. So you do you, whatever you want to do with it, but get all your machines going before you leave the game if you're going to be away for a bit. And then also make sure that you have gone to Zeki's store and bought one item from the cash register. So, you can buy one mushroom for 16 gold. That's it, period, done. And then when you have mail come, you'll have a letter from Zeki. He says, thanks for your patronage. He gives you this coin. And so the next time you're in town, you put the coin in the lucky machine and you might get oil or vinegar or fireworks or a beautiful piece of valley sunrise furniture that you can only get from Zeki. So that is like, say, this deep sink right here for when you've got a mud room and people come in from the farm, they want to wash up their boots, their hands, whatnot, take off their coats and hang them up to dry. This deep sink is part of Valley Sunrise. You can't make it. You can't get a recipe for it. You'll never have that piece unless you get it out of the lucky box. This table comes out of that lucky box. It's just another Valley Sunrise piece. So anyway, that is the last thing I swear I am going to say. I think I have answered everything that you guys asked me to answer. And I hope you stuck around this long. You loved it. You like, you subscribe, you ring that bell. It helps me so much. Please make a comment. Just say, wow, that video was too long, or, ooh, I loved that video. I love following, along with you and doing those things, or whatever. Ask a question. Doesn't matter. And I will see you in the next one.